Mm, that's pretty much it. Show you. I'm tired to help you. That's it's better than extreme. It's just like these things. No, I am not talking about it a little bit. If you go in the future with their own specs, if they're going to do it, but I mean, I don't know if it is. So, the guys are like, it's a little bit curious. Can anyone hear us? Creo que no audio. Can anyone hear us?
Hello, I can hear just a little muffled noise here and there. Otherwise, a lot of chirps or squeaks or something.
That's what I heard last week, and
Test, test, test.
Yay.
So she had it on her settings.
Like so delayed.
So, we're so not used to actually in our meetings, so we appreciate you last week being on there, but also this week coming here, so thank you. Let's see if,
Right, I'm going to call to order the Parks Recreation Conservancy Committee meeting for Monday, April 21st.
committee member Jen Botany,
Here.
committee member Joe Henry. Here. Committee member Emma Spahn.
Here.
Trustee Cody Brad.
Here,
Committee member Derek Look. I almost called him Derek Henry.
it'd
He is not here.
be awesome if he was on the Parks and Rec committee.
This is
You imagine
Derek's
how much
last
stuff-
meeting.
Oh, okay. All right, we will open it up to public comment. Any of you have anything you would like to speak? If you're not on the agenda. All right, we'll start with reports. Obviously, we'll go a little more in depth with it, but I wanted to give Dane a lot of credit for how he handled the park visioning session, answering questions, fielding questions, giving good answers to the people of that neighborhood. And the turnout was nice to see that there was so many people interested with the park that's going to be being built there.
Like, is that gonna be your agenda? Do you want me to say something more about that meeting?
Number one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about it. Yeah.
And any of the committee members have anything? Mike?
Just a number of things here. First thing, Parks and Open Space Plan had a public hearing at Plan Commission last week. And, everything went okay. Jay did have a number of things we wanted to change, but then as we went to change them, we more or less stated that they didn't need to be changed. But, it will be on the village board agenda for Monday, next Monday, for approval. Presented pretty much for that same thing. But we are currently writing a grant for the trailhead and restroom, for the Village Hall Police Station project to have 4-season restrooms on the west side of the building that people will be able to access, whether they're on the trail or in the park. Correct, yes, fire station. And then there'll be a small pavilion out in the front of the building as well. People can get out of the sun, be able to sit in the shade. An event, and then there'll also be a bike station that will be safe there as well. Writing a grant for that, we gave them Nelson or the ITC could actually be kind of both. So yeah, the friends that in the material to get that out of by mistake. We have the preliminary and final bid document. For the Lions Legacy project that are here. I've been kind of going through, there's a number of changes we've had to make mainly to the landscaping plan. We're doing a lot of landscaping house, so it's not part of the project. If you want to take a look at those after the meeting, that'd be good for you. Any questions about it? But it's exciting. We're obviously there to the point of creation and out. And then takes us the next thing to the Lions Trout Days coming up, which is May 3rd, Saturday, May 3rd. We have a number of events going on. We'll be obviously running the 5K, Trout Day 5K, and then county trout run as well. Right now, we have 40 people signed up for the run and 15 kids. About the same numbers that we've had overall as well. Moving forward, we will be joining forces with the Middleton South Plains School District. So last weekend, we ran a color run. For anyone that wanted to be a part of it, the school district was actually common. She had like 400 and some people registered, and then probably about 250 people that actually showed up to the event. So moving forward, actually, the department can do the. Very here.
I like it.
At this point, that's what. It might help. We do something with chalk. I don't think it'll be a color run, and I only say that because I don't want the negative PR nightmare with all of the chalk going into the creek or anywhere around there. We don't know what the wind's gonna be that day. It's hard to change the run, start line and finish line once you have it established. So we'll do something with chalk, but we'll most likely not do with chalk anymore. She has received a number of complaints this last year or coming up to this year about people questioning the chalk and or if there's any negative impact on individuals calling for cancer or other things. The school attorney allowed it for this year because they didn't find any articles, scientific articles to study anything. So
What brought the two runs together? Who initiated it?
me, but it's mainly because I helped them run the one in Middleton in the last 5 years. So Khalees is the one that runs it, that happens to be a partner. And we decided this would be a great
Decided
thing
to
to
dinner
run
one day.
together. It's also a really way for us to bring people from Middleton not across Spencer. That would really find it get started. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really good. Let's see. So I'll move on to hiring. So we have done all our hiring for the summer. We hired 4 rec staff. We had 34 applications for this year, and we hired 4 for recreation.
Wow.
We had 22 applications for the pool, and we hired 3 basketball employees. So it really shows how many kids are trying to come out and be a part of our programs or look for a job for the summer. We did send out letters that were saying we didn't hire now. I'm sorry about everyone.
I don't think he got one still.
Because we sent them out on Friday, so.
Oh, I asked him. He said he still hasn't gotten anything. He's just checking every day.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it does go to Milwaukee now.
Oh, it's like in the mail.
Yes.
Oh, he was checking his email.
We didn't want to do emails with these because we want to make sure that they got them. We call everybody that gets the job. And so then it's easier to say, hey, we're sending you a hiring letter via email. We don't call everyone that we get hired, we just send them letters. We do keep, this happens often every year, but we do keep this on, we keep them on file. And if anything changes, we add, right now we're hiring people based on projected numbers that we have. So there could be a change where we have to hire a few more. We do keep the 1-to-5 ratio for CAM, 1-to-5 ratio for all the programs as well. So this is just based on our minimum numbers. And right now we're sitting in a pretty good spot. We are to date, we're like $16,000 more than we were last year at this time. Now, I don't get too excited about that because it could just be that people signed up a little bit quicker this year than they did last year. You never really know, but it could also be that people are looking for more. I think it's just stay here in CrossFit. So
how many kids do you get for daycare?
So depending on the day, so we did change it a little bit. We did a 2-day option, 3-day option, and 5-day option. So we have seen a large increase to the 3 days because we used to the 2 days. We used to just do 3 and 5. We saw a large increase for the 2 days. So I'm going to say on average, we are about 22 kids right now. So depending on the day, it's not full. The max number that we could take is 32 based on state standards for numbers that you want and space that we have. Now we could also try and do something a little bit different and have 2 options. So have an outdoor option for camp and an indoor option for them.
Are you still doing the walking school bus?
We are. We're still doing the walking school bus to the pool, to the Legion, and to Glacier Valley Park. Right now, we have not expanded that to go to Bear Park just because we're already crossing Highway 14 and being able to cross down here on Church Street, via Valley or other places could be an option, but as of right now, we're kind of. The other thing that I would do is I would add staff, so we would need at least 2 more staff to be able to take kids to Bear Park as well. So our goal kind of moving forward is to either find a way to offer some of those same programs on the other side of town. So we have 2 options for people, or kind of stagger it a little bit better. So all the programs outside of camp and soccer had their puddle that we are now. But so far, we're in a good place. Pool. The pool pump is in. So we did order the pool pump back in January. They did get that in about 2 weeks ago. We're just waiting on the final electrical phase, so adding the electric tube pump, which I got over Nelson. This hasn't necessarily given me a quarter if I'm time to do it yet, but overall, we'll get it in plenty of time. The banner, heard you guys the banner. The banner was kind of a fiasco. I do have a thank you to Nelson Electric, Dave and Tammy. They did let us use their bucket truck 2 separate days. As you noticed, we did put the banner up, but we then also had already taken it down. When we received the banner, we were trying to find different ways that we thought we could get it up. Obviously, this is the first banner we had used. We were putting up there, other than one that we did back in 2016. And the banner that they gave us, the grommets, were about 3 inches down from the top and 3 inches up from the bottom. So we had about 6 inches to try and make up with the cords that went across and the cables that went across. They were 36 inches apart. So what we decided to do instead was put in our own grommets and put them in, since we have a grommet machine, we put them in like roughly an inch or so below the top and an inch or so above the bottom. That allowed the cables to actually stretch long enough for us to use carabiners to just attach to the ends. And then we used clips at the end to tighten it down to the cable. Went up great. In general, it went up really well. It was fairly windy morning. We noticed it bobbing quite a bit once we got it up there. We did that, I think, on a Wednesday or Thursday. And by Sunday, we had noticed like the cables had loosened up a little bit. It was bobbing up and down quite a bit. Then on, I think it was Sunday night, I got a call, or Saturday night, I got a call that it was ripped all in the top right corner. So on Monday, we went and got the bucket truck and took it down and then brought it back up here to ask them what they wanted to do with it. Since then, I found that we did give them standards for this. So most of the canvas, anything that we want to put up there, people think like those holes for windscreens are going to allow enough to go through, which they're not going to. So we had in there that they were supposed to have slits every 6 inches. So every 6 inches across and then every 6 inches down until they ran out of canvas. And that they didn't have those. So moving forward, we're going to need everyone to make sure that they have those slits in there. But we do feel like in general, we have a really good way, easier way now to get them up and down. But it's too bad because they spent, I think, $800 or so on this nice sign, and it's no longer, we're no longer able to get it up across Main Street. So,
And we're keeping the sign and repurposing it, trying to hang it somewhere else.
so I brought the sign back up here for Shelby or the chamber to pick up. That was on Thursday or Tuesday. She said she was going to get it. It's still here. So I don't know what they want me to do. I thought maybe they would pick it up, Scoop or somewhere in the park or somewhere down there, but she never contacted us to do so. So as of right now, it's still sitting here at the village hall.
And the printer that missed the requirements. Do you feel that they missed the requirements? Do you feel like that's something in the future that we need to stand firm around? Like if you don't hit it, then we're not paying for it? Or I mean, is that a thing?
So the village didn't pay for the sign,
I see.
and the village was just the one, we were the ones that were supposed to make sure we got it up.
I see.
We did, and within the permit process, there are specs that you have to meet for that sign. I have been told that they weren't given those specs, but I don't know. You know, I don't know who's to blame or who's not. I don't know if Alpha Graphics was the one that actually put the sign together. I don't know if they were given the right specs or not. I will say that the banner itself meets our specs completely, but it doesn't have the slits and it doesn't have the ground. It's too far away. So I'm not sure who was in the wrong. That's not really for the village to find out. I was really expecting the chamber. I think that way we're work something out there. The chamber did pay for the sign.
Sure.
The village didn't pay for that.
And the village, the hours, and Nelson donated the hours for the buckets.
So Nelson donated the truck, and yeah, the village had, well, there were 6 of us to do traffic control as well.
Mhm.
6 of us to get this sign up and 5 of us to take the sign down.
I'm really bummed it didn't work out because I thought it was awesome. It was like, yeah, that's cool.
It was a cool
It's the
sign.
first time I've seen it in years, and
Mhm.
then a couple of days later I saw it bobbing.
Yeah, so I think if they would have stayed with specs, it would have worked out really well. I hope in the future there's more events or things that can come. I will say, we have a way to get it up and down. It would be great to find a way that it won't take a couple of us to do, or it's not 4 or 5 or 6, especially as public facilities has been down. We didn't have directors out there all the time, so that's kind of running both shows, and so we were able to make it work for that time, but I don't know how it'll be.
Good job on the sign, though. Sorry, I didn't know it was a kind of a sore subject. It's just, I would like to see it going forward to the future. Right. Moving into committee discussion and possible action to approve the minutes, March 17th, 2025.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes. I'm so sorry, I was picking it up. Yes, from March 17th, 2025.
A motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Fine.
All opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding the Ice Age Trail Alliance construction of box steps on the north side entrance of Glacial Valley.
All right, so I was approached, let's say back, this is a while ago now, I think it was in February, of them adding some box steps to one of the areas along the Ice Age Trail of the Glacial Valley Conservancy. And it was February 10th. Patrick Gleisner, who isn't here, he works for the Ice Age Trail, I believe. He had put in a request, more or less stating that there would be a scout project, moving this forward. And sorry, I don't have to get home either other names. So if you want to just introduce yourself, you can come up to the microphone and turn it on and kind of give us the overview of what you're looking to do for a project.
Do I have to turn it on?
You can sit, you can stand.
Yeah, Cermak, Scout Rescue of Troop 940 in Middleton.
I'm Anton Cermak, the scout from Troop 940 that would be doing the project.
Yeah, so just tell what you know.
Do you want stuff up on your laptop?
I don't have any details about the project.
Just stuff that.
Yeah,
Perfect.
So do you just want to explain how we were approached or where you're at right now?
Feel free to have a seat there too.
Sure. Pretty much all I know is that I reached out to the Ice and Trail Alliance and they mentioned that this could be a potential project. All I said is that I'd be building about 13 steps and sent me that photo as an example. And that it would be discussed at this meeting, whether it was approved or not. But other than that, I do not need the details.
Okay, so take a pending approval, once hopefully it is approved, then we'll reach out to the Ice Age Trail Alliance and proceed with them on next steps as to the details of the project.
Is it this summer? Like, is it happening?
Yeah, when are you hoping to complete the project?
Ideally this summer. Yeah.
So you're an Eagle Scout and this is your project?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
If you're looking.
Well, you turn 18 in November.
So you're probably not gonna be the ones to ask, but the picture that they have here, do you know where this is? Or where they've done this before?
I wouldn't know.
I'm not sure. Did they give you any information about any other requirements on this? So I had more or less asked And I know it doesn't have to necessarily be built via building codes of any sort. That's a recreational trail. And it looks like there will be enough room on the west side of the steps for people to still be able to just traverse up the trail. But my question would be, like, I'm not against the idea of the project. I guess I would probably just want a little bit more information in regards to like, what are the specs going to be? What are your building plans? So, you know, pictures are great. I'm not against the picture side of it because you can see the finished project. But I like to know a little bit more of the details around it and or what they're expecting of you. You know, what would the steps be made out of? Is it pine or is it, you know, something that we're gonna have to stain often or maintenance? Yeah, is there any other maintenance with it? Yeah, I don't know. Looks like it's rock.
Rain and gravel.
Sure,
Yeah.
It's not like any specs, like height.
So yeah, in general, you know, meeting a rise to run, I don't know what that means for this project or if you even meet any of the requirements. So I know trail building in general, you can get around about those requirements. Also, you know, make sure it's sustainable and once they bring over what they're looking for from you or build it out or draw it out for you, but in general, just kind of what's the long-term maintenance of the project. It's really my own concern. Yeah, so I think in general, it's a great idea for the site just because it is very steep throughout this area. Have you been able to go out and look at this site at all?
I'm gonna talk. We're going to be built, so.
Sure. Yeah. So maybe next steps, and it could just be you and three of us and I'm sorry, Patrick or Kevin, someone from the Ice Age to kind of sit down and talk over the project. I'd be fine with that. You know, in general, the committee is in favor of the project. If we get an approval tonight to kind of get the ball rolling. I think we could probably do a conceptual agreement, but we really want to see some more details. And then the last part would be recognition. So obviously, we try to, when we have projects like this, be able to give some recognition to yourself or the scouts, just so that people know that there are these types of projects out there. It gets to kind of involved and be doing other things rather than just all the sports or all the arts and crafts that there are other opportunities for. So we try and kind of those as well. So like a time to do that. So if you want to leave your contact information with me or email, whichever works best for you. Are you a senior at Littleton? I'm a junior. Okay. Junior at Littleton. I don't know, what does the committee think?
I like the theory, I'm gonna.
Yeah. Like approve them to move forward with a plan, and then once we have the plan, we can approve the actual plan.
Yeah. Does that sound good? Do you need anything more than that? Like,
No, basically, yeah, at the risk of taking over for you, we didn't know, we thought the Ice Age Trail would have submitted something, but that's why we came here, just to make sure to get information. What do we need to do to move forward? So it sounds like, because he's leading it, you mentioned a list of things that, I'll probably have to take some more notes here on what they were looking for.
Yeah.
So we can help take point on working with the Ice Age Trail and keeping you and
perfect.
getting the information.
If you just want to put your contact info on a sheet before you leave, or maybe you already did, I will contact you with like the things that I may need from you, kind of give you an outline of it at least. And then if you have questions from that, we can email back and forth, or text, call, whichever. But obviously I'd like to help you get the ball rolling. And I would think SH has something already.
But they have
some other plans.
But they've done this before, they know types of materials and things that we use those.
Yeah.
If not, then we know what we gotta find
Sure.
out. So
And then the last one is like funding. Is there, you know, are you looking for any funding or I know in general, sometimes these projects will be, you need people to donate to it. way to find funds, but if I say just paying for it, or if you're looking for village support, those are things that we need to know as well.
But the concept is a great idea. I'm a hiker, my family's a hiker. We go out in the middle of like Yellowstone National Park and there's like these stairs. And it's like, oh, these stairs, they're like an oasis. So I'm loving it. I've gone 600 stairs up a waterfall before and they really weren't stairs, but they're natural stairs to some extent. I'm really excited about this idea.
Do you have any other questions or anything?
Can we get your email too, so we can reach out, or?
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually. I don't have a card on me, but there's one out there I can get you over, what's ready. This is sort of service hours typically.
Yeah, so, in order to get the rank of people, it's guaranteed that you in community project like this. So, yeah, these are the
Good project to do.
This is the last thing he needs, falls in our guys are calling. Or else.
Government really great in like 15, 20 years, maybe you can come out here with your kids and hike down and say, I built this one.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
If anyone else is looking for a project, I keep thinking every time I go by the cemetery, one cemetery in town I drive by all the time, there's some really old tombstones and things that could be cleaned up and fixed to honor some of the people there, and I thought that would be a great project. I actually restored my ancestors from like 1840. And it's amazing, like the transformation, and it just takes a little bit of grace and just a little restoration, and it would be a nice thing for the community, especially I drive by it every day when I leave my house, and I think I'd be willing to help out if somebody wanted to do it. Okay, I'm an expert in it, that knows how to restore them with something, with a partner, or somebody that can help us. For what I wrote them. An idea, somebody looking for a project.
Yeah, if you ever have anything, you could reach out to Glacier's Edge Council as well, and just try to get the word out to troops. There's also Troop 87, I think, in Cross Plains here as well.
My kids.
So I've had a number of decided to do these types of projects or something of this sort over the years. So
Bridge on the bike trail. They fixed some of the ones on Ice Age Trail, they're like way up there in downward in the mountains.
Well, thanks for taking time out of your hands tonight and last month as well. Appreciate that. Sorry about that. If you have any questions before, feel free to email me. Otherwise, I will send you kind of an overview, just kind of like things that we will need, kind of make a decision moving forward, and we can try and conduct the Ice Age or something as well.
So Mike, will the board have to approve this project? So, yeah, you'll want to have the info.
Back to the committee that you contribute as well. Based on the information that we received. And then, so the committee meetings are the third Monday of every month, and the village board are the fourth meeting of every month. So that kind of gives you we can kind of go backwards. If you're hoping to start this in June, you may need approval here the next month in May, but we can.
That wasn't I looked at it.
Okay, because it's going to be too late to get anything on the agenda for next week.
Well, like, I don't know, 6 months or a year.
I'd probably say yes. Maybe just because I don't want, there's always
started with
as well. But in general, they're going to want it's crazy. Conceptually, I could see all of them. In general, yeah, it'd be the same. Police actually on the board as well. In general, the board is always supportive in regards to the conceptual ideas. I was come back. A lot of times the committees are the ones that kind of vet that process. So I don't think it really gets you any further. They'll be happy to hear about it once the project comes to fruition.
So ideally, that they'd be targeting next Parks and Rec committee to have kind of the details.
Yeah, see that.
Timeline, costs, materials, right? To bring to us to then make a recommendation for the board to get it on their agenda at the end of the month in May. Okay.
Sound good?
Good.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Discussion and possible action regarding the facility use agreement between the village of Cross Plains and Cross Plains Stingrays.
There are some issues with your document. So the first thing, not that it matters, but it does say 2024 in the project background. It also says Noel's the president, which she's not. And there are 5 home meets this year, 3 or 4. Just in the memorandum, look like down under project background. Staff has worked with Noel Van Evenhoven, president of Cross Plains.
Oh, my.
There.
I'm sorry.
That was just like a cut and paste.
I did.
So it's 2025, but then the big thing is there are 5 home meets this year, not 4. We broke the invitational. So you said 4, and in the facilities it says 4, but
I gave them this to say
Oh,
what they
that
had.
has
This
to
was
go
on
out.
them.
so
What's the other date?
according to the website, we host the invitational on Tuesday night, July 22nd. So I have our dates according to the website as the June 7th, June 14th, June 28th, June 2nd, or July 2nd, which is a night meet, and July
So I had
22nd.
them all here. Right here.
The 22nd is not on
I
there.
don't have the June 22nd.
July 20.
First of July 2nd.
I just noticed, when I was reading it said no more than 4, like at the top, that was where, I didn't see at the bottom, I was only looking for the,
So July 22nd to
It's an evening.
yeah. Do you want me to just text them quick and triple check that we're for sure hosting? It's on the website.
That's what I
that
heard too, because we're doing concessions.
Yeah.
Every year, what I do is I take this document and I send it to XP Stingray and BXP Stingray. Because I don't know who it's gonna be.
Mhm.
And contact me about it, like, actually, to talk everything over. And I give them a document to make the changes in.
I remember, I was the president once, remember?
Yeah.
I did it.
And then if there's anything different, they need to just let me know, like anything that they can't change or that has to be for it.
Okay.
But that's fine, I mean. We'll just say that.
And we can just make an amendment to say that we'll
So
allow that.
July 22nd, you said that's a night meet?
Mhm.
It's a Tuesday.
But yeah,
Which
we
I know
could,
you don't like, that's bad because of swimming lessons.
It's the week leading up to conference. And we can run on it both ways, but it matters, or
No, I'm not.
or talk about it in 2 ways.
You just make an amendment to a motion or to add. If we. Should be fine.
Okay, so I did it right in here, I was just making sure I did it right in here. So
It is right in there?
in the,
Yeah.
for swimming lessons, we are having night lessons on session 1, 2, and 4.
Okay.
Not doing session 3. Because before we'd only do session 1, 2, and 3, and not 4 and 5, because then we run out of staff, because someone was on vacation. But this year we were doing session 1, 2, and 4, so that we didn't run into that, and we didn't run into July 4th. Because we already knew there were 2 dates that we were gonna miss. So we decided to change it up beforehand. But I
it
didn't,
doesn't affect the.
I just didn't realize that it was, so I'll just make the change. I make the change in on the facility use agreement. And we'll be fine. Is that the only thing you saw? So
That
from,
was the big thing I saw.
so from my standpoint, yeah, this Noel's.
And again, that's not even important.
I changed, I used this one last year, I changed this and I changed this, I just didn't change it, but. They added stroke clinics back, so they will be doing those on Mondays from 5 to 5:30 and Wednesdays to 5 to 5:35. And then. They have, it's at 4 home meets this year, so
So
that's
it's
5,
5,
where last year we had 3.
3, yeah. Because we only do the invite once every 3 years. because it rotated between the teams.
That's fine.
So
I'm sorry to not be prepared, but could you remind me what the pool hours the public are? Again, like I see that 5 to 5:30 time slot, and I'm like, wow, they're really gonna get a lot done in a half an hour is the public. So anyway, so I guess my point is, what are the pool hours
1 to
to the
5.
public? 1 to 5.
It's 1 to 5. So we close, they come and use it from 5 to 5:30, and then we have swim lessons again at 5:40.
Oh.
but not on Wednesdays, but that's fine.
They're going to, what we're gonna try and do is, they're gonna limit the pool.
I just don't, why is it one day it's 5:30 and one day it's
So
5:45?
they're requesting.
That's
I'd
like
be
what you're
fine with
saying.
you, I'd be fine with you telling them that they have to be out by 5:30. That's actually one of the recommendations on here.
Okay,
That's.
this is unrelated, but I'm just putting it out there that I happen to know a kid who works for you. And she would probably very happily every week make a little schedule of like, here's what's happening at the pool that Becky could post to Facebook and be like, pool is closed, you know what I mean? Like, and just like post it every Sunday night or something of what's going on so that you don't get those crabby parents being like, you know, like if there's a birthday party, like pool closed for private event, pool closed for me. I'm sure she would do that if you tell her to. Because remember last year, one of our big things was the communication and people being crabby. So like just just have that like every Sunday night, you would just post, here's when the pool's open this week, the end.
So I'm sorry, so the pool hours, again, so they close at 5 to the public. And
Swim
then
lessons
swim
at
lessons start at
5:40.
5:40 on deck, ready to go into the water at 5:40.
Correct.
Have we done a 5 to 5:30 stroke clinic
Not in a
before?
lot of years.
How is that gonna happen and get people in the water at 5:40 for their swim lesson?
Well, I guess how many kids are doing stroke clinic? That's.
I don't know, there used to be a limit, like 24 maybe.
Like a smaller number. And it's more, the stroke clinics, from what I remember, were like one-on-one almost.
They were smaller, they were definitely smaller groups. You had to sign up
Yeah.
on the website and then you came and it was like the breaststroke or here and the flat, here and the starters, kids who doing starts were here. But yeah, I would just be really firm, like you need to be out of the water and those other kids need to be in the water at 5:40. And if they're not, you can yell at them. I can yell at them, but I don't know, that's official.
And on Wednesdays,
Well-
they start also at 5:40, but there's gonna be some overlap.
That's why I already had a recommendation to say that they can do 5 to 5:30. Both days.
For stroke clinic. They're just teaching them strokes.
I'm just looking to see if there's any.
Or, yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I don't know, they really haven't mentioned anything about it yet.
I'll probably wouldn't see if they get approval on this.
I mean, or they just haven't done it.
Yeah.
Just.
So-
I mean, it makes sense to me, it's about 30.
You could make an approval as presented with changes to obviously the date, the July 22nd date to the inspiration, facility license.
It's not a plan, it's a plan.
Yeah, we can always do this.
It's not like it's the same.
Just have to give them 30 days in advance. Should we do this?
Can I ask another question?
Yeah, that's cool.
I've never really understood, the fees that the stingrays are paying. So they're through. Whereas I saw, it was like $45.
$5 first one. $5 of that goes into the pool improvement fund.
Yep,
And $30 goes into the revenue, just general revenue fund for the village. And then there's a $350 rental fee for the party at the end of the year. Because we close the pool out and then that way we're assuming party.
And you're not gonna close the pool you should not close the pool the night of, like, our picnic or whatever is Sunday the 1st now. And last year, for some reason, they closed the pool for that and they shouldn't
Sunday
have.
first of what?
June. Did they rent that out with you yet?
Yeah, so that was kind of like.
Just keep texting the wings.
The $350, is that what the charge would be to, like, for the public to rent the pool?
$250 for the pool for them to, well. At groups of 100 or less, it's $250. If you get into the point like swim team, when they have all the kids are there, then we need an extra lifeguard on there. I would need 2 extra lifeguards actually on there, so that brings it up to $350 for the rental.
I'm not suggesting that we charge the Stingrays more, I'm a Stingray family, for the record, but are we charging the Rays enough?
I think that's a question that, you know, this committee can talk about over the year. I would hate to increase this on anyone now. I mean, it's printed in the book for numbers.
Right.
I remember learning this that general was stating, if we're going to change it, let them know now, and so they can plan for it for next year. Any school year plan, especially with trying to figure out who's their staffing is going to be, because I know that that's a large part of the expenditure.
We really raised the fees for Stingrays since I've been.
We've raised them, we've actually raised the fees twice since I've been here. So used to be $25 per swimmer, and up to 35, but then 5 of it just goes in.
I just think, I mean, they're probably gonna go up with the new pool, and when that goes in the next couple of years, it's gonna go up then, because it has to, because you have more amenities and better things, whereas we have a deteriorating
The
pool.
pool that we haven't seen is large increases in our need for taxes to subsidize the pool. We haven't seen that in a very, very long time. So our pool budget in general has not increased in years. And we've been able to work with the numbers that have always been in there. That's just because we are lucky enough to have turnover when we get it. You know, the turnover really helps keep our major costs down, because staffing is our largest cost.
How many kids are on swim team? 200?
177 last year, I think it was.
Yeah. Right now we're at 134.
It's been
We have-
70.
Yeah.
And then we have multiple swimmers, right? So.
No, I'm just curious.
I know, and I'm not necessarily suggesting it for this year. But I think it is a topic of conversation, maybe for next season, especially because as people think about like certain ideas, like why aren't the Stingrays each buying, you know, like pool memberships, but I'm thinking that there's money coming in other ways, like, right? So I don't really know. I'm just trying to get a better understanding of the $35 charge, plus the $350. So maybe for next time we can think about it.
I will say we are in line with other communities for the most part. A lot of them don't do the per swimmer, they just do a flat fee of this is what this is. And it's a lot more than ours, the flat fees are.
Yeah.
The ones that do per swimmer, I'd say, are really close to what ours are. We just happen to have a lot of kids on our swim team, which helps, right? So, what'd you do?
I said, did you rent the shelter for the picnic? Mike also doesn't seem to know about that. He said, I can't say for sure, but if he doesn't know about it, then could you please add it? Anything that was left out that you know is needed, please lock it up for us.
So
it's good on here.
So
June 1st is like that kickoff picnic, but here's what I will say is last year, whoever was the pool manager did not schedule any lifeguards that night because of the picnic. And I do not think that needs to happen.
that was an oversight.
Yeah, the pool can be open. I remember my kids being at the picnic and them saying, and there's our coach so-and-so who's up lifeguarding, and they'd wave from so they should not close the pool for that. Okay. Shelter rental for the 1st.
Will you put that into the agreement then, or will that be separate?
I will add it, but. So normally, when it's if they just want the shelter rental. We have given the shelter rental to them at no cost. Because there aren't really any major costs for us in that regard. We're not having to bring a ton of picnic tables. You know, even that may not be you know, it's not the most clean facility in general.
You don't have any other parties scheduled now though yet, do you? Okay, that was my only other concern is
We
if
don't have
someone else had,
We don't have anything scheduled in the shelter that isn't already rented. So.
Okay.
I will add this. This one, so it doesn't get overlooked each year.
okay.
Add that one, and then what is your end of the year party? July
That's,
or August, that's
Oh.
August, right?
Yeah, let me just see if I know.
that's, what is that, July?
It might actually be July because the,
Conferences.
July 29th? I mean, that's Tuesday after conference.
July 27th is what it says. Oh, no, that's, no, I'm sorry, that's the Legion. It doesn't say, it says TBD. But usually it's Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
So usually it's Tuesday.
Well, I will add both of them.
I'm just gonna say,
Go over the pool.
just make sure you let Mike know exactly which date is the pick, is that of year.
So are you gonna add the pool rental for the night and the shelter rental?
Correct.
Okay,
I will add the June 1st and July 29th for municipal shelter rental only. Yes,
so does this make sense?
and then add the July 22nd.
Right.
Yep.
And the short clinics, Monday, Wednesday, 5 to 5:30, right? Is that what
Yeah.
we're amending to?
That's gonna be there.
Well, I don't understand how they can have the pool, like, if they want to take the kids out and go do some dry land until 5:45, that's great. But that's not using that, like, the physical pool is going to have swimming lessons, I don't think you can tell them they have the pool at 5:45 if there's swimming lessons at 5:40. So,
They put their. Into. So we'll go 5 to 5:30.
I'm in favor of 5 to 5:30.
Yeah.
For the transition, swimmers out, swimmers in. Okay. So let me see if I get this right. So I'd like to make a motion to. To approve the facility use agreement, the 2025 facility use agreement between the Village of Cross Plains and the Stingrays with the following amendment. As presented with the following amendments. Amend the stroke clinic times for both Monday and Wednesday. 5 to 5:30 time frame. Amend the number of meets to 5. To also include the evening of July 22nd. And then they are renting the pool on the evening of July 29th. And the shelter on the evenings of June 21st and July 29th.
June 1st.
June 1st and July 29th. Shelter, June 1st, July 29th, pool, July 29th.
shelter, 29th is pool and shelter.
That one's already included in.
That was second.
Second.
A motion and a second, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
And
All opposed, motion carries.
1 second.
Discussion on possible action regarding memorandum of understanding between the Village of Cross Plains and Pathfinders.
All right, so
Finally.
first off, since I didn't say this during my report, but I meant to, is I'd like to have you all welcome our newest member. Kelsey. Yes.
So
Thanks for agreeing to be on the committee.
he can't sit there yet because he's not like official.
Next, yeah.
Make sure you, next time you get it.
Swear in introduce. But prior to that, obviously, Ron in general, he coached for me a long time ago, I think some soccer programs. And got to know them quite well. The kids also worked at the pool. Ron has been very instrumental on adding mountain biking into those cross plains. Not only instrumental in the verbal aspect of coming to meetings and making sure things are getting improved, but also in the action side of it, where he's out there doing 90% of the work that's needed to be done with us too. So Ron's here tonight. He did propose, I think back in actually, that's
August. Maybe it was June. It might
I don't remember.
June 4th. June 4th.
June, was it 24?
Yep.
I put 25, that's killing it. So he did propose this, the board did approve it, so we've been working on a memorandum of understanding to come to a point, which is tonight, that we have the actual agreement in place. Our attorney, along with Works attorney, kind of worked this out. I called it a recreational agreement this time, did you notice that?
I don't know if I read the last one, so
I don't know. So this is the last one that was put out. But in general, what I'm hoping happens is that this agreement actually becomes our only agreement. Based on, I tried to grab everything from the other agreement that they've already, that's been completed, not added, and then take all the stuff that, we're still working together on. Making sure that we're meeting those standards within corporate and the religious side of it. So, in general, this is first to add mountain biking over to the Scenic Valley development. So it's expanding the mountain biking trails. And secondly, it's talking about the maintaining maintenance costs, those things kind of going forward and what people's responsibilities are. So, if you have any questions, be able to read through. Do you want to read through now?
I mean, both attorneys have gone through it, right?
Correct.
You've seen it?
Oh, yeah. The only thing is Ben still.
The president?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Nothing changed there.
So if this is the agreement and it's signed, then what happens?
So once this is signed, then we go to work in regards to, the first phase of this, I think it's fundraising. Or finding some ways to be able to fundraise for.
Yes, one of the things, the club has hired Chad Landowski from Traction Trail Works, it's called. He's built trail all over the country. He's gonna help. I came up with a plan, but he's going to give his professional stamp and, layout design. They committed to the funds we would have. As soon as we're ready here.
Great.
This goes to, I think we actually have a meeting with them
Wednesday.
night.
This will go to one.
Very well.
Second the motion.
A motion and a second, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Motion carries.
Thanks, Ron.
I'll hang out.
Hang out.
Oh, good, coming next month too, so.
Yeah, you'll be here for,
I have been telling my kids all about this phase of the trail.
I'll go through this really quick.
I run through it.
Yeah.
Someone's very sensitive to noise, and I know who that was from the meeting.
Yeah. So luckily for me, or unlucky, I guess, but I wasn't able to make this visioning, even though I made the date and the time and put all these letters together and sent them out to people. And then realized, like, holy cow, I scheduled a vacation, right? And we leave the day of that night. So I wasn't able to make it, but I was really lucky to have some great staff, and Dane and Jill and Matt, everybody attended the meeting. So it was good for them too, I think, just to kind of see what that's like, to be with the community. And then obviously I'd also like to thank Carly, our village administrator. She was able to make it as well. Kind of give her overview and set. So we did make up these visioning sheets. I made up these visioning sheets with, kind of a timeline, and this is not like set in stone, but the goal was to try and compile all this information. I'm still actually receiving some emails from people now, which is great. Compile the information and then get a concept of, what more or less like what are the main things that people are asking for, and what do we, what kind of money do we have to be able to pull this off? To date, there were 27 people that signed into that meeting the other night, which is great. On the 10th, which was great. But it sounds like there's even more than that didn't sign in, kids and other people. So there was a really good turnout for what people were doing. Main takeaways we got is they wanted a playground. They wanted to see shade and trees. They wanted to see a water fountain. They wanted benches, and they wanted trash and recycling. So in general, this is a great layout in general for a neighborhood park. Those are things that people usually would like access to or be able to provide right there in their own neighborhood. So
The putting green I really liked.
I love that. Yeah, but we realize how much work that is. I actually thought about doing that Blizzard Valley Park years ago, and then realized how much more money it's going to take. I'd say we could try something like that.
We can just fake one. But
We could, yeah, do some.
so this
That really smooth concrete.
So Cody and I attended, I didn't even touch it off.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
And the thing that struck me was babies in carriers, like newborns, to retirees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tons of kids in the middle. I mean, there was a number of elementary age student, I guess, children there and younger. And there was a comment, somebody, I think he may have resided in that area for a few years now, but I think it was something like, we have there's like $82,000 right now, or approximately $80,000 right now, and then once the rest of the homes are sold, it could be upwards of 125. And they were very interested in breaking ground now and not waiting, to the extent that somebody had suggested, can we make up the difference? Now, to what that means, that meant borrowing, like loaning money to the village, I don't know, or to actually pay another $50,000 to get their parked in, but it really resonated with me. People buy a lifestyle in Cross Plains. They want a certain lifestyle in Cross Plains, and a lot of that, I think, is family, foundational and family. And they don't want their kids to grow up and not have that experience, because it's going to be several years.
He even went as far as saying if they pull the kitty from the neighborhood to complete the rest of the funding, if that was illegal.
Yeah.
That was a possibility.
So I believe it's legal. I believe if that were to happen, the people that take a building permit now would be credited at $1,500. I believe so. Any funds that you receive in excess of the Department of Education money needs to be, well, one, you need to make sure that you're transparent with it. And then two, you have to provide a discount to the people that are providing to you, which are all the neighbors that are building houses. So I believe that's how it would. I'd have to ask our attorney for sure, but I know state statute that any access to money that you receive. So I'm the 151 thinking of the difference, but the other thing is we could easily piecemeal this together. It's just that we may not get everything that they want because the construction aspect of it's going to be different, but it really depends on what they come up. If it looks like a basketball court is kind of some, is one thing that kind of stuck out when there were 9 people or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
So that's about the phases too, like the phase approach.
If you could put a park in there and then put a bathroom. I think the main consensus grasp was that they wanted the play structure for the little kids.
Mm-hmm.
It was their biggest thing. And then
playing green or basketball court or soccer field could come later, even though like soccer field, you can freeze the put in right now.
Yeah, I mean, in general, the soccer field we could do that at any time. It's mainly, that I will say that, the village kind of dropped the ball in this regard and say, I'm not sure who, but they approved, they allowed them to get rid of their surety. I would have not taken over the current park and the conditions it's in. It's all weeds. It's not grass. It's very bumpy. It's not, so in that regard, we do have plans to do work to it this year. Contracted with someone already, do some spraying. We added some soil as well as some black dirt in different spots. But in general, it's not in great shape for a soccer field, but I guess it comes down to, if the committee and your board want us to put it together in phases, we could do that. It wouldn't be a problem. It's just that there may be one or two of these things that don't happen, and because when you don't do a project to whole, you tend to start doing a little bit here and a little bit there. It's more expensive. So
that's where it's like playground structures right now. They're only going to get more expensive.
Yeah, so knowing that we had $87,468, I think there's 2 more homes that are building right now, so it's probably closer to 90,000. We have 90,000 to build like somebody around.
What's your thought on this? Yeah, you go through it.
Having connection work is very important to people that have her too.
It's hard, it's hard to adults and with your trust friends, essentially, parents. And so, like, you don't have a meeting place or somewhere to go, like, and the kids don't, the kids in the houses next to us, we don't necessarily play with the ones that moved in 2 years ahead of us that were up the road that already established that little core group. But when you have a place where all the kids go, then the parents meet and start to expand that other community. And I think that's the value in it. It should be responsibility. So I'm a big favor of getting them done as the neighborhood gets built, as opposed to waiting to the end. You look at it a lot in the house, or you drive by the park, like, oh, look, there's a park right there. It would probably help some people.
Yeah, you would think a builder would want that because that will entice people to come. Like,
Village Wanakee has their developer put the park in before they do homes. And
I think that's
the way it's
so smart.
They already have a construction crew there. Do any excavating or anything they want to do with trails or build buildings or put drinking fountains in. It's already there. So I agree with you. I think in general, that should be the way to go. I've had 2 administrators agree with me, but I haven't got to the point of changing the ordinance. It's really easy.
As a committee, come up with a recommendation and send it on to the village board. And I think that's the logical next step. I mean, if you expect them to take it up, I mean, it's probably not going to happen.
Give me direction if that's what you want to do, and I'll just start working on that. But
because this other new one talking about coming in, like
as of right now, there's the whole park.
There's no park space for there.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know.
They don't need a park. They have a golf course.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. It would be interesting to see if the board agrees to not do any playgrounds. Or anything around it.
It's not having the playground, for the size of the development to not have the playground.
It's a large, I mean, especially when you start getting back.
That. Be stuck in between golf course and where everything else is, so they're not gonna, it's not like you can say, hey, they can go to the pond, or, you know, put some money in the pond, they can use that, or they can come to our little playground. I mean, it's gonna be too far to do that, so they're gonna do something up on that hill. The thing is, they're gonna be against them because that's all trees, and they don't want to cut down trees, and they don't want to build up everything else because that's where they have their homes.
I think that in general, I should get that on the agenda at some point. Cody should get it on the agenda for this committee to talk about, that part and or that development. Just to look things over. I think those things should always need to involve our committees or if you get more input as well.
Well, so we just came out of especially.
And I think what's really interesting is it came to plan but never went to the board. So plan commission, plan commission saw it, but the board still hasn't seen it. So I don't know what their plans to go forward. That's not what we're talking about now, I guess. So we can't make a recommendation per se on scenic value because we don't have discussion possible action on here. But I will be happy to take some feedback and I'm not saying I can get to it in this next month, but if I mean, I feel like the consensus wasn't there. I feel like the consensus was that they do want a playground right now. Yeah. Right. And so I could go forward with the RFP again, put together, the funds that we currently have for what they would want for a playground. And then, we kind of work within the next 60 grand, either expanding the playground or putting in other amenities that they're requesting. I do have some money in my operating budget this year to add a few trees in there, but I was going to look for a conceptual, or at least get a somewhat of a conceptual plan. But if we end up putting the playground in an area, I would put those trees around that playground. So that would be the second. The thing is, I don't want to plant a tree and then have to pull the tree out and put something else in. But if we're doing it close to a playground, it should.
My only recommendations, and I know this will go a little bit against what's there, but it comes from my experience from where I live, is I would say the playground first and some type of a soccer field or some way to maintain that field, because living where we do, all the houses are small. There's not very big yards. If you want to fly a kite, if you want to play soccer, if you want to throw a baseball, if you want to do any of those things, you can do that in a soccer field.
Right.
Even if it doesn't hit the lines, as long as you have that, there are so many activities that kids can do and do together that become team sports. I mean, you can play baseball in a soccer field. Yeah, if you want to do that.
I was surprised actually when I looked through here because the multi-use field had only six people that thought that was the need. Put a basketball court up here.
Well, it's a single use.
Yeah.
I mean, we not want it to a park, which again, if there's people that want to play volleyball, I understand that, but.
Well, we did bring their attention as we spoke to the group, like, we want a pickleball court.
Did you adjourn? I gotta go pick up my son.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sorry.
Can I ask really quick what's going on with the other two parks about the acres and then those?
So Melody Acres is down cold since Westview got approved.
Okay, and then and the only reason
I
I
think
asked
that's
is,
what Kathy Kittle was on for. She
okay.
talked about that.
my only thing is just, again, we understand that it's coming from a different pool of money. But I can see there being a lot of frustrated people who are like, well, wait, why is this park getting all the attention? We've been waiting for our park for all this time. And again, we understand why, but how do you communicate that out so you don't have unhappy people? So just something to think about. We don't talk about it. I'm just throwing it out there.
And you're not wrong.
So
for this agenda item,
do we need
is it the idea of?
There's
no
action.
There's no action. So we have to have a presentation. So in general, does everybody kind of agree with the overview of, what was said, people that were there?
Are you going to take?
Is there anything more that you would like, is there anything more that you would like to discuss on this new park? The only thing that I will say is we are taking public comment right now. We've received, I probably received 10 of them so far. Maybe a little more than that. I know there were people on here that stated the name.
Yeah, there was a
for
few.
Shep, for Scenic Valley. I will say that in general, Shep could happen, I'm not saying it wouldn't. I will say there's already a street name for Shep that's right to the north of that.
Mhm.
And I don't know if people are gonna get confused a little bit.
I didn't know that until that meeting, someone said, oh, there's Shep Court or Shep Street, and I was like, oh, that could go.
Yeah. So one thing, and then the other thing, some of the comments I received, and I know even Village, a couple of board members have said that unless they're willing to give funds or provide stuff for this, like there's no real reason the village. In general, the village shouldn't use that as their practice. That's it, it could make things awkward down the road, so just keep that in mind. But we're taking that public comment for 30 days, so we'll have that on the agenda for next month. But in the meantime, if you have anything or people that want to discuss this in more detail, or if you know of anyone that's talking about it outside of this, my plan is once you guys kind of look through this and be good with it, I'm going to send it on to everyone who's at the meeting, just saying here's kind of the overview that we received, kind of talk about next steps, and where we're at, so.
Are you making a recommendation, like, based on your feedback, we are gonna move forward with an
I'm going to
RFP?
ask them actually to come to our next meeting and I'll have this on the agenda topic.
Oh, I think that's different than what Crowley told them.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But we'll.
I think she
Yeah,
said June.
July.
I'm trying to remember it, never mind, I don't remember exactly. A June for a concept plan, I think is what they were thinking.
Right, and I have that, yes, so the timeline, so June 16th, I have in there is our
Okay.
date for the conceptual plan. But if they would like to see a playground before April of 26,
Uh-huh,
or May of 26, then and they want this to get moving, and that's what they want first, and you're fine with that. We will have this Scenic Valley Park development on the agenda for next month to see if they want us to do a request for proposals for a playground. Does that make sense?
yeah, kind of like the phase, sort of a phase project, it could be or couldn't be. Either they're gonna show something with the whole base being used for playground, or it's gonna be playground, cut a little short so that they can build out something else in the future. If the goal is to get something in the ground before April 2026. Right? Yeah. Okay.
But want to make a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion to adjourn. We need to say anything else.
No, I have a motion.
The motion.
Motion.
Aye.